Hello, Josh, and welcome to the first installment of Firefish Friday. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but this is a book called Firefish, and it is a Christian action adventure pirate seafaring fisherman story. And I read it to the girls at Harvey Cedars, and it was a big hit. And we would always go around. Julie knows. Julie Justine, shout out. We would always go around. Oh, and Jessa Track. I don't want to leave anyone out, but I can't just name everyone in a video. And we would go, Firefish, oh, Firefish. And so I figured Firefish Friday had alliteration, and that is why it's going to be a Friday segment. Now, if my clothes look the same as Thursday's segment, it is because I tried to cross my legs and it didn't work out. Now, if my clothes look the same as Thursday's segment, it is because they are. I wear the same thing every day. I stopped showering. I didn't stop showering. I didn't. I just am wearing a similar outfit, aka the same outfit on both days. Do you like that, Ace? In the background, there? No, there. There it is. It's a hat. Should I wear it? I'm going to take that as a yes. Hold on. So anyway, Firefish Friday. I hope you're ready. Now, I own this book, but it was given to me as a gift by my pastor and his wife when I graduated high school. So that was a while ago. It even has a note in it. And the note reads, Rachel. Pastor Steve read this series and enjoyed it. He thought you'd like it too. It's a smiley face, so I did it. So we hope it will be a fun, leisurely poolside read. ... I'm going to just say, right in this case, the ellipses mean that for you, it will be a nice, enjoyable audiobook whenever you please. Yep. Before the regular call for done. Love, Pastor Steve and Miss Ruth. My head is itchy on that side. The Legend of the Firefish by George Brian Polivka. I didn't practice this before it. I didn't practice any of this before I decided to read it aloud to you. He's got some acknowledgments about people he likes and a table of contents, which you know is good. Oh, he has got a personal note in which he mentions C.S. Lewis, myth. We're gonna skip it. If you're like, man, Rachel, why'd you skip that? Let me know in the comments or via Facebook. And then the next one, I'll be sure to read it for you. Also, this is my favorite part. Do you know what my favorite part of some adventure books are? Maps. It's a map of the place. I'm trying to get it in frame, and I don't know if it is, so I hope that this is good enough. If you'll notice, there's a coastline, and then the sea. Most of it's ocean. So if you were confused, know that the bigger part was the ocean. Thy great deliverance is a greater thing than purest imagination can foregrasp, a thing beyond all conscious hungering, beyond all hope that makes the poet sing. It takes the clinging world, undoes its clasp, floats it afar upon a mighty sea, and leaves us quiet with love and liberty and thee. George MacDonald, Diary of an Old Soul. That's what I'm going to call my biography, my autobiography. I'm going to call it Diary of an Old Soul, and it's going to be about a girl who is a pirate who finds a firefish. All right, Chapter 1, officially. The Chase. You deaf, boy? I didn't like that accent. Let's try it again. You deaf, boy? Packer Throne didn't answer. The last thing he wanted now was a fight. Dog Blesto was a big man, bigger than Packer by 3 inches and 30 pounds, and Packer's elder by 30 years. Leathery, gray-headed, lean and muscular from a lifetime of hard labor, Dog stood across the table with his hands knotted into fists. Packer stayed seated and silent. Say something! Packer didn't look up. I don't know if that was the same voice. Dog grabbed the back of a wooden chair and tossed it aside, clattering it across the plank flooring, where it nearly shinned one of the regulars. Disrespect, he seethed, nodding around the pub at the undeniable proof Packer had just offered them all. That's him nodding. They did not nod back. These fishermen had come with their usual intentions, to talk and drink and smoke their pipes and do some modest complaining after a hard day at sea. Not to witness this. Not again. Stand up, boy! Packer studied his ale. Good year. Cap Hillis, the pub's friendly proprietor, had set the dark, white-capped mug there just moments ago. The modest complaining today had been about the pirate, Scatter Wilkins. Will he be important? Probably. And rumors flying around that the feared outlaw had turned fisherman and was now using harvesting techniques like those of their rivals across the sea in the Kingdom of Drummond. Kingdom of Drummond. Remember the Kingdom of Drummond. Drummond. D-R-A-M-M-U-N. Okay, if you want to take notes so that you keep up with everything that's happening in the chapters. So far we've met Packer Throne, our hero, Dog Belstow, our villain for now, various fishermen, Cap Hillis pub proprietor, and Scatter Wilkins, pirate at large. Alright, he was using harvesting techniques like those of their rivals across the sea in the Kingdom of Drummond. Rivals of us. Nearing vast is where we are. In doing so, Scat, as almost everyone called him, was helping to empty the sea of fish and glut the world's markets. In the process, he was also helping himself to a fortune and making the fishing villages, like Hangman's Cliffs, where we are right now, all poorer by the day. Dog believed the rumors. They gave him a specific target for a deep, general sense of discontent. The trophy chase wasn't built to catch cod, Packer had offered. The only full sentence he had spoken since arriving. I said stand up! Dog now ordered. Packer did not comply. Dog eyed Packer carefully. The boy had grown some, gained some weight. His pimples had turned to pock marks. His mop of blonde hair was even shaggier. If that were possible. But he was still the same spineless kid who wouldn't speak up, who couldn't look a man in the eye. They teach you this at seminary? Dog sneered. How to mock your elders! We've just learned that Packerthrone was in seminary. He's no longer in seminary and did not complete his seminary degree. Notes for you from Rachel Summons. There are some notes. I should probably actually get a patent on that. Some notes with Rachel Summons. Okay. They teach you this in seminary. He leaned his hands on the table, his big, hard hands now splayed on the worn wood, his eyes locked on Packer, as though they could burn through him. He dropped his voice. Oh no, I forgot. They didn't want you there either. Some notes already revealed that. Packer grimaced. He closed his eyes again, letting his pain and the anger pass. Everyone in the village knew he had been expelled after less than a year at seminary, rejected as a priest. But he was not prepared to have it flung at him the moment he returned. Dog saw he was getting to the boy. He kept pushing. So why'd you come back? You don't like hard work. That's what we have here. No books. No tea parties. One groggy old fisherman, head hung over his ale, looked suddenly perturbed. Hey, I've got a book. He was called Foretooth, a nickname he'd earned after losing a run-in with a jib boom as a young man. A jib boom, I'm pretty sure he got smacked in the face. Having had his say, he let his mug work its way back towards his mouth. Packer took a sip of his own ale, careful to do it calmly and deliberately. It was cool, and his mouth was dry, and it felt good going down. He closed his eyes and let his mind return to where he'd been just this afternoon, standing atop the Hangman's Cliffs, the rugged precipices after which the village was named. He had been looking down on the inlet below, down to the great, sleek Trophy Chase, shining in the sun with her 2 escort ships beside her, basking in the wrinkled blue water. Trophy Chase, that was the pirate ship. He's catching fish. What's gonna happen? Packer alone knew of the pirate ship hidden in the inlet below, and he knew he had to be aboard that ship. He wished he were standing on its forecastle deck, facing the vast sea, right now. You're cow dung, Dog sniffed, bringing Packer back to the moment. And the only thing worse than cow dung is cow dung with no respect. Packer tried not to imagine how a respectful pile of manure might behave. Would it salute? He tried to take another... Okay, that was funny. Take a moment to laugh, because Packer was just, picturing a pile of manure saluting. And has, a little hand. And probably makes a fart noise when it salutes. Too far? Some notes. He tried to take another sip, but Dog must have noticed that he had let a trace of a smirk slip through, because the older man had slapped him hard across the mouth with the back of his hand. No, that wasn't it. Hard across the mouth with the back of his hand. The cool drink went flying, and the mug skittered across the floor. Packer stroked his stinging jaw, but didn't respond, didn't look up. The innkeeper, Capillas, round and red-faced. Oh no, he's a bartender. No, he's a proprietor. Capillas, the innkeeper, round and red-faced, scrambled over, recovered the mug, examined it. It was made of sterner stuff than it appeared. He mopped half-heartedly with a rag at some of the puddled ale on the floor, but was immediately distracted. It would soak into the open grain soon enough, absorbed like 1,000 spills before it. What's important in that paragraph is that Cap Hillis didn't check to see if Packer was all right. He checked to make sure his mug was all right. Cap, we expect more from you. Dog, lay off. Why not just hear him out? A voice from the back of the room suggested. Find out what he knows. Others echoed in agreement. Those are supposed to be high men's voices. I'm sure they sounded like women were in the pub, but I think it's just old male fishermen. But he has nothing to say, Dog countered. Do you, boy? Packer drew a little line with his finger down a rough scar on the tabletop. The gash looked to Packer like it had been carved carefully with a knife. Artwork, made to look like an act of violence. Seems to me he's about to head right back out of town now that he's finished his ale. Isn't that right, boy? Dog snorted his... Oh, that's gross. Dog snorted his... I might need to blow my nose. Dog snorted his disdain, pondering whether the lad needed hitting again. He decided against it and allowed himself a half smile. Just as well you broke your promise to Panna. Marrying you would have ruined her. Panna is a lady that Packer loved once. There were a few oohs and a whistle. Dog was hitting low. Packer's jaw clenched just slightly as Dog's words sliced through him. But this, too, was a familiar pain. The truth was, he couldn't disagree. A more honorable man would have come home to Panna after the seminary rejected him and settled down to the quiet life of a fisherman. But Packer had not. Dog laughed and turned away to pick up his chair. Go ahead, try to act like nothing bothers you. If you want us to think you're turning the other cheek like some holy man, it ain't working. We all know you better than that. They sure knew better at your preschool. Priest school, not preschool. Which is definitely what it sounded like I had Dog say just then. Priest school. Preschool. Do you see what happened? Alright. Like I've always told Panna, he continued casually, you're just a worthless dreamer. Good for nothing. Dog stood over Packer now and delivered his final blow in a whisper. Exactly like your daddy. Audible breaths were taken and held. Packer's face revealed nothing. But he stood up slowly, his blue eyes cold. Dog straightened, hands still clenched at the back of the upright chair. Packer now looked Dog in the eye, a direct challenge. The fisherman smiled broadly. What, you don't like me talking that way about your old man? Packer was smaller than Dog, but just a shade under 6 feet. He was bigger than almost everyone else in the room. His shoulders were usually slouched some, but now he put his head back, squared himself to the older man. He didn't look quite so soft suddenly. Dog was unimpressed. He looked for something else with which to bait him. He found it on Packer's belt. Look at this! What do you know, boys? Do you see he's a sportsman? Is that how you protect yourself from all us old fishermen? Dog pantomimed a little loose-wristed swordplay, gaining laughs from round the room. This is how I pantomime this is loose-wristed swordplay. And this is tight-wristed swordplay. It looks like a conductor. Or a magician. Wingardium Leviosa. Sometimes my screen goes black, so I have to hit the thing. That's what this hand's doing. When I do this. Alright. He has a sword. You idiot. We've all got swords, except none of them have swords, except for Packer. Packer's heartbeat quickened, but his cold gaze didn't change. He waited a moment longer, wrestling with his conscience, knowing he should walk away, not wanting to. Dog had crossed a line. Dog's moment of mockery turned to disgust. You're not fooling anybody. Your daddy was an embarrassment, and so are you. Tuck your tail and get. Packer made his decision. He unbuckled his belt and gently laid it, with its scarred and stained leather scabbard, on the table. It was a dueling sword, a thin, straight, double-edged rapier. When all eyes were resting on it, Packer looked at Dog and softly spoke. "I'm sorry if this frightened you." Dog's face went red, and the room erupted in a flash. Amazed, gleeful, Packer had some fight in him after all! Bleh! "Draw it!" Dog demanded. Then, without looking away, "Give me your iron, Cap." Everyone knew that the innkeeper kept behind the bar for Okay, the innkeeper has a sword behind the bar for his own protection. That's what that sentence meant. It was awkward. Moving on. Some notes. "No, Dog," Cap protested, his voice strained. "Not swords." Here, let's do that again. Cap's strained voice. Take 2. "No, Dog," Cap protested, his high voice strained. "Not swords." But it didn't slow Dog or the others. One of them, a dark-spirited man named Ned Basser, reached behind the bar with a wild grin, tossed Dog, the barkeep's sword. Cap tried vainly to intercept, but his short, thick arms flailed uselessly as the rusted blade sailed over his bald head. Dog snatched it out of the air by the blade, proving to all who cared to notice just how dull it was. "There you go, Dog!" Ned called out. "Sick 'em! Now, leave him be," Cap warned Dog in a shrill voice. Grabbing at the big man's elbow, the innkeeper leaned in, stood on his tiptoes to speak in Dog's ear. "They say after he left the seminary, he studied sword play at the academy. Let it go, Dog." But Dog's slitted eyes were now drilled into Parker's. He shook the barkeep off his arm. "They can say what they like. I know what this boy's made of, and a few lessons in a laced drawing-room can't change that." Packer took his sword and scabbard from the table and looked at it, weighed it in his hands for a moment, and then suddenly unsheathed the blade. The oiled steel hissed as the blade flashed into view. It was a gleaming, finely crafted piece of work, with ornate detail engraved a third of the way up its length. The older man's eyes widened almost imperceptibly. This was truly a swordman's sword, the kind that Hangman's Cliffs had rarely seen. How Packer had gotten it, and whether he knew how to use it, were questions that only now formed in the older man's mind. He couldn't keep from looking down at Cap's sword, to which he had paid scant attention until this moment. The darkened thing looked like a fireplace poker by comparison. The blade was slightly bent, the tip rounded and dull, the handguard little more than a loose crosspiece of bent metal. He frowned. No matter. This was about manhood, not armor. Dog gritted his teeth. "Come and get it," he croaked. Okay, sometimes we might have a short song break, like right now, where Dog is going to sing Selena Gomez's "When You're Ready, Come and Get It." "When you're ready, come and get it. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na na na. When you're ready, when you're ready. I feel like that might have gone on for a little bit too long, this song, but whatever. Dog gritted his teeth. "Come and get it," he croaked. But his voice didn't boom now. The words came not from the belly, but from the throat. More smoke than fire. Still, there was no chance he would back down. He turned sideways and raised his sword, pointing it so that the tip was inches from Packer's heart. The others stood and cleared a small space, moving chairs away and the table from between them so the two could face each other properly. How long is this chapter? We're doing the whole chapter, man. We're going to do the whole chapter. This is going to be a long video. It looks like it's already 25 minutes long. Maybe we'll have to do pages at a time. Okay. You know what? I hate to do this to you, but we're definitely going to stop here for tonight. Page 18. Page 18. They're about to fight. Tune in next week for the rest of chapter 1. You're going to like this. You're going to like this book, I think. And if you're like, this isn't really my thing, just let me know.